she did them, and I was aware she did them, and I just didn't know how to stop her from doing perks, and I kept warning her about fentanyl because I have a lot of friends that lost their kids. So I'm part of that club now. And I used to beg her, and tell her, please stop taking them. You don't know what's in them. In my daughter's case, she didn't OD. For people that don't know the story, she was murdered by fentanyl. This is a picture of my daughter for the people that never seen her.
And I can't say it enough times. Do not accept anything from anyone you don't know. And even if you do know them, don't accept it unless you know what it is and where it's come from. And
I would say at my worst, I was probably taking between 30, 35, sometimes maybe 40 a day.
If anything, the way I look at it is like Sopranos saved me. When I would think like, man, what are you doing to yourself? It would be a lot easier for me to go like, stop doing this. Look at what your life could be, instead of what a lot of my friends were dealing with. And, I think it's 5 of my friends who I brought to the premieres of The Sopranos are dead now.
I had my own battle with addiction as well. The Vicodin and Percocet, that was the thing. Never, I didn't do heroin, or it wasn't coke or anything else. It was Vicodin and Percocet.
By 2005, I was a full-blown heroin addict and a crack cocaine addict.
And even people with the worst kind of mental illness have a chance if they have the capacity to be honest with themselves. The reality is we've been lying to ourselves with every drink we put in our mouth, or every puff we take, or every pill that we pop, or whatever we're doing. And then we wonder why people get pissed off at us, but we don't see that it's what we're doing. It's not my mother, my father, my brother, my uncle, my sister. No, it's me too.
The consequences are too severe for me. The damage I've done to my health, it's a fucking miracle. Nothing short of a miracle that I am still alive. So, if I can do it, any of you can do it.
When people suffer from alcoholism or drug addiction, there must come a moment when your life totally crashes. For me, that moment came when the pain was too great and the consequences were too profound. Only then did I decide to change. Recovery and sobriety is all about change, and for me, it started when I woke up in a grimy hotel room in a shitty little town in Pennsylvania. And so, if you want a new life and start a new journey of a lifetime, you've come to the right place. You want to drink? That's your business. You want to stop drinking? That's our business. Welcome to Recovery Tube.
Hey guys, how you doing? Michael Hensley, good to see you. Sabrina Merrick, thank me for what? Are we talking about being addicted to Trump? Never mind. No. This is going to be, let me put this up on the screen as a matter of fact, because otherwise people will think it's a politics live stream, so I got to put that up there. I probably should have put it up a little higher, but whatever the fuck, who cares? Anyway, really like how that looks. Bear with me, guys. I got to figure this out. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm doing a vertical and a horizontal live stream, so it's a bit complicated. But today I got some things in my mind we could talk about, but we could also talk about anything you guys want. I think we're going to probably get a lot of people that we don't usually get. I don't know how many, maybe 100, something like that. But anybody who's here, whether you're from the politics side, the mob tube side, whatever, if you, hey y'all, if you don't mind, I'd like to hang out. No, Dixie, of course, you're always welcome, Dixie, always. Salute, War. Sabrina, thank you for the $5. Anyway, anything you guys want to talk about as far as maybe your own addiction, or own addictions or recovery, relapse, anything. these shows are very hard for me. I've been saying this for years because I'm not a drug and alcohol counselor, you know. So when I do these shows, I talk a lot about myself, which I don't really like, you know. So I actually appreciate when you guys, you know, tell me about yourselves, whatever, so I can go off of that and we could talk about your stories. You know what I mean? I think it's important. Romero Flores, what's up? How you doing? Sven Larson, Yizzo. How you doing, brother? I'm gonna see what you guys have to say before I get on a, you know, some sort of tangent about my own bullshit. You know? Let me see something here. Sorry about this. I wasn't prepared. The fuck isn't working? Wait a minute. Why are you so miserable? What makes you think I'm miserable? If you're a politics guy, this is an addiction or recovery show, so please respect that. Has nothing to do with politics. A good topic, something different. Yeah, for a freelance road. And I did one of these a while ago, and it worked out pretty well. We had a decent audience and everything. I like to try to talk to people about their addiction, their recovery. I don't know if people are currently struggling or they have in the past or, you know, whatever. So tell me what's on your minds, guys. Because like I said, I really don't want to start out this show telling you about my own bullshit. That's what always happens. And, you know, me, really, Soto? Is it? I don't know. For sure, a lot of people need this channel. Well, thank you, Freelance Ronin. I'll tell you what, since nobody's telling me anything, I'll get started, and maybe you guys can put your own experiences and stuff in the chat to talk about, whatever. Maybe some of you can relate to me on this. And I probably talked about this on addiction recovery shows before because this is a major issue in my life. But are any of you plagued? Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Are any of you plagued by bad memories? You know, people, any of you who have been addicted, who have done things you're not proud of, who have regrets, are any of you just plagued by bad memories? Like, in other words, is there a part of every day where it hits you and you just can't get the stuff off your mind? That's an odd question, Matthew Gardner. War you? Yeah. It's something I struggle with a lot, and especially lately. You know, I don't know what's happening to me lately, but nighttime is tough. You too, Dixie, huh? Yeah. Yeah, for me, nighttime is tough. When everything slows down and, you know, I'm not doing my shows, I'm sitting here fucking around on PlayStation or, you know, whatever. Even sometimes if I'm watching a movie with my wife, all these bad thoughts enter my mind, man. Stuff from the past. Stuff that I can't seem to get over, you know? I don't know why, but things that probably wouldn't even matter to people who are, you know, involved in some way in these things, you know, from my past. It drives me fucking crazy. I can't get the stuff off my mind. And it makes it very hard to function and live a normal life because you're always thinking about the past, you know? And I got so many issues with my, you know, for my mom passing. You guys already know that. But I got a lot of other stuff too, you know? And I'm sure you guys do as well. And then you have the people that always throw up your past in your face constantly. Well, luckily, I mean, I believe me, I have. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that now. I don't have anybody doing that to me now. But that's mainly because nobody from my past is in my life anymore. You know what I mean? Really. So I don't have to deal too much with that. And honestly, the people who I've done things to that I regret and stuff, I don't think they think about this shit ever. But I know that I think about it constantly. And I'm assuming this has to be just an addiction or recovery thing. I think anybody who is ever addicted to anything has probably done some pretty bad shit throughout their addiction, you know? Because that's what happens, you know, depending on what your addiction is. You know, alcoholism, for me, I get angry, I get violent, I just become an animal. I'm not a friendly drunk. You know, so there's that. But people say they were on heroin. opioids of some sort, something. You know, a lot of the time in those cases, you betray a lot of people, you deceive a lot of people, you steal, you lie, you cheat, you do whatever it takes to get high. So I think people like that, that's drug addiction in general. Could be crack cocaine, could be whatever. I think people probably commit a lot of bad acts in order to get a fix, you know, and that could go on for years. My thing was always, you know, there's never really a desperation to get alcohol. It's just what I do once I have it in me, you know. I'm not a nice person. What I used to call mistakes, they're now regrets. Oh, I hear you, bro. Yeah. It's so funny because a lot of this stuff never seemed like much to me when I was doing it. But then again, I was pretty much an active addiction. So you're not thinking the way you are today. You know, you were thinking you were in a different mindset. You were damn near a different person. And we all grow up, we get older. And the older I get, the more I fucking despise myself. I mean, I really do. There's part of every day where I just think, I don't know. I guess my opinion of myself isn't too high. You know, it isn't too good. Very low opinion of myself is what I'm trying to say. Addiction is easy in and hard to get out. Oh yeah, no doubt. Yes, I have little episodes of anxiety that come over me from time to time, can be past related. Really? It's interesting, Michael. I do too. I never considered the others I affected, but you do now though, right? You feel that way now? Like you look back on things. If I could start over with people and stuff and the things I wouldn't have done, holy shit. And in some cases, things I would have done. Politics didn't suit you. Good topic. Not enough said about it. Well, thank you, Adrian. But politics, I believe, does suit me. I'm pretty good at it. And I do those live streams every day, but I want to do these as often as possible too. Yeah, this way, even if we don't agree on politics, maybe we can have something in common or something we can discuss without fighting and hating each other. I want to know how much you paid for your silver. Oh, your chain. You said chin at first. Oh, I don't want to get into all that, bro. I got trolls out the nothing I say can be right. If I tell you I paid a lot, then you know, I'm squandering money. If I tell you I paid a little, then I'm broke, you know. But maybe another time. Mostly my parents worry they didn't deserve it. What do you mean they worry now? Or you mean you worry about things you did to them? Having a conscience just proves you're a good human, bro. I don't know about that, but I definitely have a conscience. All right, Mike, cool. Malik Irvin, $4.99. These shows are excellent. I hear things I can relate to because people think this stuff but don't talk about it. Yeah, well, as you know, shit, there's times where that came back to bite me in the ass. I'm very open on these shows, you know, but there's no other way to be if you're going to talk about this topic. There's really not. I mean, you guys certainly don't have to discuss. Oh, thank you, Youngblood. Thank you. You know, me, I have to talk about things openly, you know, otherwise what's the fucking point of me doing this? I just to elaborate a little more on what I was saying earlier. I don't know if it's a phase I'm going through. I don't know if I'm in a depression. I don't know what the fuck is happening to me. But no matter how good my day is, the last few weeks or maybe even months, everything hits me at night and I get so incredibly fucking sad. And it's just like a reel of bad memories and regrets and things that I did in my past and things I didn't do and mistakes I made and it doesn't go away. And I go to sleep in, like, honestly, damn near suicidal, you know. But by the end of the night, I feel like the lowest of the low. I convince myself that I am without a doubt a despicable human being because of the things I did in my past, regardless of how much I've improved my life, you know, and how much better I've gotten as far as in recovery and stuff. I think that's a part of addiction and recovery too. I think you just have zero self-worth. Oh, bro, I know what you mean. I was taking. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking with someone that knew me from the streets. I was a menace. Me too. Same thing, man. Same thing. I don't drink often, but I've been so alone. After the 12 pack is great right now. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Christopher's. I mean, I'll tell you this, if you don't drink often, it's probably not a problem for you to have a 12 pack. But if you're doing it because you're alone or you feel alone, that could definitely turn into an issue. Because the problem, Christopher, is tomorrow you'll still feel alone, except you'll be hungover, you'll feel like shit, and you might be heading in a bad fucking direction, honestly, because I used alcohol to treat my depression. And when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, that's how I wound up becoming an alcoholic the first time. So when you do it for a reason like that and you drink alone, they say, that's not good. But listen, whatever you got to do to get through the night, But loneliness, I was listening to something last night about loneliness and addiction and how much of a cause of drug use and substance abuse in general, alcohol abuse, is because of loneliness. I know, oh my God, at times in my life when I felt like Christopher here does, I mean, there was no other option for me. It was just to try to kill the pain of being alone with alcohol and drugs. That's it. I hear you, War. My felony convictions were, the first one was for selling marijuana. The second one was for selling cocaine. Most punchable face on the internet. Fuck off, nums. I don't drink because I am willing to do without. Wait a minute. I don't drink because I am willing to do without over 30 years. Oh, you're willing to do without it? You mean 30? Wow, that's fucking great, man. 30 years. Congratulations, Randall. That's excellent. In my past, I think I was incredibly cold with others, and I regret it now. In retrospect, it was a defense mechanism. Now it bothers me that I might have hurt people. Keeps me awake when I need sleep. Malik, 100%. Yeah, with me, it's like, I think back to these things where I was just because I was under the influence or something, I was mean, I was vicious, even if I wasn't trying to be hurtful. The littlest thing I might want to handle, maybe I should handle with some nicer words. I just was a complete dick about it. And at the time, it doesn't seem like anything because your behavior makes sense to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like when you drink and drive, you think you're driving just fine, but you're not. You're all over the fucking road and everything else. You know what I mean? And it's just like that kind of stuff too. When you might say certain things to some people and they seem fine at the time, but years later, you realize that this thing you said or thing you did must have really had an effect on these people. And there's nothing you could do to go back and correct it now. And all you could do is live with it. Sometimes I think the fucking, sometimes what press conference, Kim? Sometimes I think the torture we go through once we get clean and sober is just our karma. It's just the universe, getting us back. Because I know with myself, there's never a moment where I feel like I don't deserve any of the pain I'm going through. Matter of fact, I feel quite guilty sometimes for having such a good life. I don't feel like I deserve that, not with the shit I've done. I agree with you. Say everything just hits at night and it sucks going to bed. Suicidal. Thank you for that. I know mood swings will come and go. Just got to direct my energy in the right direction. Yeah. Yeah, you do. That's the only positive option. Anytime you use anything to kill pain, to kill bad thoughts, to kill anxiety, depression, it's going to become a habit, because those things don't go away too easy. So whatever you're using to treat them with, like me, when I started doing cocaine and I was already drinking heavily, couldn't sleep at night. You know, that come down. This is before I started selling enough of it that I never ran out. But the come down is you are suicidal. I mean, when you're coming down off cocaine, I can't imagine anything more fucking miserable. Maybe heroin withdrawal or something. I don't know. But what was I getting at? Oh, when I be coming off cocaine, you can't sleep no matter what. You know, it could take fucking 10 hours after you did your last bump or line till you can finally relax your body and get some sleep. At least that's the way it was for me. And my heart used to get all out of control and be beating through my chest and everything. It was a fucking living nightmare. So what I would do was drink myself down, you know, drink myself to sleep. As soon as I was going through that, I would be like, fuck this. You know, I gotta go to sleep, no matter what it takes. And I started drinking liquor. I would drink a fifth of vodka every day like it was nothing. Sometimes, you know, up to a half gallon. And I was a tiny little fucker. You were talking about when I was a teenager, I was like 120 pounds. And one day I woke up and it was like, oh shit, I was shaking like a fucking leaf and I started heaving, like dry heaving. And I, you know, I had to throw up, but I had nothing in me. I didn't know what it was at first, you know, and I started drinking again for the day and I was fine. And after a couple of times, I realized this is alcohol withdrawal. This is what's going to happen to me every time I go long enough without alcohol in my system, you know. And then it's like, now you don't just need it to sleep. You need it to wake up. You need it to get out of bed. You need it to function throughout your day. And alcohol withdrawal is the worst kind of withdrawal, and you got to medically detox from it. So it's very difficult. Like this more what than politics? Gotcha. What do you think about Cobbs? I don't know what that is, Grungle. Hit the subscribe button. Love your energy, man. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Christopher's Reality. I appreciate that. I like your name too, because I'm Christopher. It's my first name. 7 years off heroin and meth here, still guilty and suicidal. Really, Matt? See, you know what? This is why I like doing these shows, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only person, because I've always been like a worry wart, you know what I mean? I've always been the kind of person that will sit back and dwell on things that are just meaningless. There's no point in dwelling on them. But so I think that's why I am the way I am sometimes, with the worrying and the regrets and the bad thoughts and stuff. But when I hear other people go through it too, you know, it just shows me that it's really just a part of addiction, and especially recovery. Because there's no way you were an addict in this world without hurting somebody at some point, if not everybody around you. I mean, my fucking whole family had to feel the effects. I used to get in fist fights with my fucking brother. I hit him with a bat once in the head. I almost killed him. He was in the hospital. I got charged in every fucking thing when I was 17 for almost killing my brother with a fucking baseball bat. I was a maniac, you know, and all the people in my life, friends, family, everybody had to feel the effects of it. And it is fucked up too, because, you know, you realize that when you're an addict, you are as selfish as a person could possibly be. Everything's about you and your fucking addiction, everything. And you don't care that your mother's at home crying at night because she doesn't know if you're going to make it home, if you OD'd, if you fucking drank too much and died in a fucking alley somewhere, if you got robbed, you know, because you're out selling drugs while you're doing them, whatever it is. I don't know. You don't care. You know, all you're worried about is getting what you need as quickly as possible, and staying high, staying drunk, whatever you need to get through your day. And we affect so many fucking people in the process, man. So many people. It's truly heartbreaking, you know, and the people in our lives don't deserve it. But that's why I think I'm going through what I'm going through, is because whatever's happening to me lately, whether it's depression or what, it just makes me think about everything in my life. I mean, my mom passed in June. There must be 200 thoughts a day in my head about things I caused her, you know, in her lifetime. And she didn't deserve anything. She was an angel, you know, and I fucking put her through hell. I probably took years off her life. It's very hard to be clean and sober, guys. I'm sure you know it's very hard because the easiest thing is to just kill these bad thoughts. But if you decide you're going to be clean and sober, you have no choice but to fucking deal with them. And that is truly difficult. That's the thing about getting clean and sober is it's the first time in a very long time where you have to actually face all the horrible shit you've done, acknowledge it, and figure out a way to deal with it without anything there to kill the pain or take it away. That's what helped me give the coke up. The come down wasn't worth it. Oh, soda. See, my thing was there was no come down after. And when I was a teenager, yeah, 'cause I was getting maybe an 8 ball at a time, something. But once I was getting ounces, you know what I mean, to sell, I was a drug dealer. You know, it was a fucking. I never ran out of cocaine, which is even more dangerous. You know what I mean? Because it's like there was times I'd be up for 3 fucking days. I'd be doing so much coke just to keep myself leveled. I'd be popping Xanax and drinking liquor. I'd wake up 3 days later with my face stuck to the pillow because my fucking blood, my nose was bleeding so fucking bad while I was basically in a coma. I remember my friends had to kick my bedroom door in one time. They thought I was dead. They didn't see or hear from me for 3 fucking days. And that's literally how I woke up. My face was like plastered to my pillow because of all the dried blood from my fucking nose. It was so bad. I mean, I would do easily a ball a day, sometimes more. It's been a crazy week. One of my coworkers took his life this past week. Didn't see this coming. I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. Truly sorry to hear that. Crazy. Yeah, cocaine is fucking horrible to get involved with. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. And doing it is bad enough, but doing it and selling it, because I think the selling it is just as addictive as doing it. It's like a license to print money. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable amounts of profit and shit. It makes it so that you could do a fucking quarter ounce out of every ounce you fucking buy and you still make a profit. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't even matter. Tired of taking NyQuil to sleep after a bottle of, tried or tired of taking NyQuil to sleep after a bottle of Jack? Oh, you're tired of taking. I don't know exactly what you mean. So the diff between physical dependence and addiction is being able to function. Well, no, I mean, addiction is addiction. The physical dependence part is it depends on what you're talking about. But yeah, whether it's heroin, I never did that, but I know people who have, and I do these shows and I talk to people. Whether it's heroin or alcohol, depending on what it is, it could be benzos like Xanax or Valium or anything. If it's a drug like marijuana is not physically addictive. You could smoke marijuana for a fucking 100 years and then just stop, and it's only going to fuck with you mentally a little bit. Even cocaine is not physically addictive. Like when you go to rehab for crack or cocaine, like powder cocaine, they can't detox or anything. There's nothing. It's not physically addictive. You just got to deal with it, and then eventually you'll probably fall into a depression or something. But a lot of other drugs, especially alcohol, heroin, pain pills, benzos, you'll get to the point where you can't function without it. You know what I mean? In the beginning, maybe you can't function with it. You get too fucked up or whatever, but it gets to a point where you're so sick without it. I mean, I got to the point where waking up, I would be shaking so bad. My hands would be like this. I'd be fucking dry heaving. I'd wake up and soaking wet from night sweats. And I would have to I had a bottle next to my bed. This is when I was a goddamn teenager. And I'd have to drink just to be able to get out of bed. And I'd have to drink throughout the day. I couldn't go a couple of hours without drinking. I'd go into serious withdrawal. It's unbelievable. 7 years. Wow, I got one. Does it ever get easier? You talking to me? I got 6.5. Oh, 7 years. Oh, you're talking to Matt. Still guilty and suicidal. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know for me, I hate to say this to a bunch of people I'm talking to about recovery with, but we're talking about recovery with. it's gotten progressively worse for me. I can honestly say that. And for some reason, especially the last few months, it's just working on my brain, man. But I've been like this for years. I mean, my wife will tell you, we'll be in the middle of a movie. We might like to watch a movie every night. Believe me, we have to watch some shitty movies to keep that going. But we try to watch a movie every night and together, you know, because she works, I do this, and then at night we got a couple of hours to relax with each other. And there's not a single time where I don't freeze at some point and I'm just staring off into the distance. And my wife will be like, Chris, what, you know, like, what are you doing? Where are you at? And it's just like, I tell her, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm thinking about this thing with my daughter from 20 years ago, or my fucking mom, or, you know, I'll tell her like, oh my God, there was this one time where I did this and you know, it must have hurt her. So, you know, and she's like, Chris, nobody's thinking about this but you. I say, but it don't matter. You know, that's the point, is that I can't stop thinking about it. Even if the people I've hurt aren't mad at me, I'm mad at myself for hurting them. And it's torture to have to deal with that. There's some selfish motherfuckers in the world, man, who they don't give a shit who they hurt. Whether they keep using or they get clean and sober, they don't have a conscience like that. But people who do have a conscience, I mean, and they're capable of feeling badly for what they've done, it probably never gets better. I'm assuming you're going to live with the regrets and the pain and the sadness till the day you die. And all you could do is try to make your life as good as possible so you can be as happy as possible, clean and sober, as long as you can, you know. But you know, what I've been seeing is that the older I get, the more I feel terrible for the things I've done. And when you lose somebody, you know, like I lost my mom, there's no, you know, you can't talk to them anymore. And when my mom went, you know, on comfort care, hospice, you know, when I realized that, you know, they put her on the morphine and stuff, and there's no more talking to her. She's not coming out of this. You know, she's essentially in a coma until she passes away. I was hysterical crying because I didn't realize when we put her on comfort care that was it. There's no more, you know, communicating. I mean, she might come out of it here and there and be awake for an hour, but you're essentially in a coma. They keep you asleep until you pass because of the pain and stuff you're dealing with. When I realized the first day I saw my mom on the morphine, I realized that, oh my God, I'll never get to speak to her again. And I was hysterical in the fucking hospital. I was losing my mind. And, I did a lot of talking to her while she was in the hospital, and even when she wasn't awake, you know, and I apologized for things, and I talked about all the stuff we had been through together and how much I love her and all that. But it doesn't matter. No matter how much you say before they die, once they die, nothing can be said anymore. They're gone. You know, you just can't. You can't say you're sorry anymore. You can't make up for things you fucked up, you know, between the two of you. You just can't. So I think that's part of the reason I'm going through what I'm going through now, is because every day since my mom has passed, it's only gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better at all. So I don't know. Sometimes it's hard not to beat yourself up for things you can't change. Oh, extremely. Extremely. My pain meds saved my life. Really? How so? See, fuck it. My life is quite beautiful. Oh, well, you know, fuck it. I'll just talk about it. Yeah. When my mom passed, I got put on Prozac. And believe me when I tell you, I think it's the only reason I'm alive today. I mean, for the first 6-7 months, I was, now in a way this could be bad, but when you got this kind of shit going through your head all day, it's a good thing. I was numb. It was like I had no feelings. I mean, I didn't get super happy about anything. I didn't get super sad. I was just indifferent to everything. In a way, it's a wonderful fucking feeling. And I felt like, oh my God, this is how I should have, felt my whole life. I wouldn't have had the issues I had. But apparently that medication is not working anymore, because they always say when you come off of something like Prozac, all that stuff, all those feelings that were suppressed, they're going to hit you all at once. And you're going to have to deal with them. I mean, the stuff, the pain, the bad thoughts, it doesn't go away permanently. It goes away while you're on that drug. You know what I mean? Kind of like any other drug, The thing is, I haven't stopped it. I'm still taking it, but it's not working the way it was. I'll tell you that fucking much, because the only reason I was able to make it through the first several months after my mom passed was that that shit had just suppressed my feelings so fucking much. But now, it's just not working the same. My life is quite beautiful. I am building a business step by step. I think sometimes I just get triggered and pick a negative way to cope with it. I live in my head a lot. Any advice on that, Chris? I wish I could give you some advice, but I'm in the same boat as you are, except I don't use anything anymore. I've always lived in my head. I've always been that type of person. If you guys watch my politics stuff, I'm a very critical thinker. I analyze the shit out of everything, which could be a gift or a curse, sometimes both. But no, I really don't know. I mean, all I could tell you, Christopher's reality, is to keep yourself as busy as possible. And I truly believe that the one thing that helps with this shit is exercise and being as healthy as possible. I think that's part of my problem, is because up until a couple of months ago, I was constantly out doing something, but the weather is so fucking shitty that I've been in my house more than ever. And I'm doing more sitting around than I've ever done. You can ask some of these guys in the chat. I go out, I don't tell you what I do, but I get a few hours exercise every day on nice days, always. But the last couple of months, it's just snow and rain and freezing cold and high winds, and I can't do what I generally do. So I think mentally it's just fucking with me, So I think the more physical activity and shit, I think that stuff helps. Sorry, bro. My brother is a crack addict. It's hard when he asks me for money all the time. Oh, I bet. And the thing about it, I bet that I'm assuming what goes through your head, because I've talked to people that have been in kind of your situation. Well, I've been in it myself with people, that were on drugs and stuff. But you want to help them because you see they need it so badly. You want to give them the money so they can get what they need, and plus they might be putting you through hell. You just want to get them what they need, but at the same time, you're enabling them every time you give them money. So it's such a hard decision, The world is such a shithole full of arsehole. Substance abuse and alcohol abuse is a way to cope for many people. Yep. Heroin goes nicely with anything. Wow, I never heard that. That's a quote. I will always remember that. Heroin goes nicely with anything. We all do, James. I just can't. If I'm ever going to get to the point, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it certainly hasn't yet, When my mom got real sick, there was something, I don't want to get, it's very personal, but there was something my mom wanted to do with me. We'll just say that, like a get together type of thing. And I knew it was very, very important to her, but I was so fucked up on cocaine and alcohol that you couldn't pull me away from that coke, and this would have required me to pull away from it, or to get away from the cocaine for a little while. And I wasn't willing to do it. So I basically blew her off, and I knew how important this was. And I I just blew her off, and I didn't do it. And my whole life after that, I regretted it. And this is something we're talking about damn near 30 years ago. Well, no. What am I talking about? 22, 23 years ago. And I never forgot how much I knew that must have hurt her. So ever since then, I told myself, I'm going to do this with her one day, to make up for the fact that we didn't do it then. But then I started to get scared that once I do it, she'll die, because I always knew my mom didn't have much time. My mom's been sick since a very young age. So I felt like, well, maybe I shouldn't do it, because what I've always told myself is I got to do this with her before she dies. Maybe if I do it, she'll die. Anyway, one night I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I got together with her. She was living in my house and stuff. And as soon as she saw what I was doing, I was surprised. It's another thing is you hope people forget things like this, but she didn't, because she said, oh, say, Chris, I don't want to be treated like I'm dying. You don't have to do this. I know what you're going to do. You're going to try to make up for the past. You don't have to do this. And honestly, I don't want to be treated like I'm dying. I just want to be treated normal, and don't feel the need to make up for anything. I love you, and you don't have to make up for anything. Everybody makes mistakes. And it broke my heart because I never got to even do what we were going to do together, because it was like she didn't even, want to anymore. She felt like it was me treating her like she was dying, So anyway, something that was very important to her, something, she wanted to share with me never got to take place. And I don't know. I mean, that's just one of the things that still haunts me to this day, really. It did kind of feel good hearing her say you don't have anything to make up for, but at the same time, you could tell me that, but it doesn't mean that I still don't want to make up for it. You know what I mean? Injection into your penis to find the vein. Genius addicts. They'll always find one. Stay strong, connect with a higher power, and ask for strength to overcome. Well, I don't know about the higher power part, but I got no choice but to stay strong, and thank you, man. The price we pay, it's not to others, it's the pain and memories we got to live with. Yeah, it is true. Or that's the price we pay, you said. Yeah, it's not to others, it's, yeah. Sober for 7 years, and earlier you called me a maggot. Listen, it's politics, man. I don't think I called you a maggot, but congratulations to you on 7 years. That's awesome. I'll have 7 years in June. June 20th will be 7 years for me. So even if we disagree politically, I'm proud of you. Congratulations. You must still talk to your mother. She's listening to you. I talk to her constantly, man. I talk to her constantly. But, I unfortunately, I don't believe that she's here. I always say that one of the things that really broke me the most was that, you never know. And I'm an atheist, but you never know. Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Is there an afterlife? Will my loved ones be there still after they pass? When my mom passed, me and my mom were so close. We're really all we had. I had an abusive father, and it was just me and her, most of our lives. I mean, of course, I had my own family. I had a daughter and stuff, but I mean, I was always kind of her caretaker, and I took her places, and we did things together. And I always said that when she passes, she's going to give me a sign, and if she doesn't give me a sign, she's just not there anymore. It's just she's gone. And it's been a long time, and I haven't gotten one. So now I believe she's not around anymore. And it's heartbreaking because it makes you realize that, oh shit, you're never gonna, because we like to believe we'll see them in heaven or something like that. But you realize, at least for me, the way I see it now is there's nothing like that, which I always kind of thought as an atheist anyway, but I never knew. Now I feel like I know there's nothing after this. and that she doesn't hear me when I talk to her. But it's so funny because a lot of these people in the politics chats, they come in and they insult me and they all say I live in my mother's basement. Some of you already know this, but the funny thing about that is, you know how they see this wall behind me? They say, oh my God, you're in a basement. This is my mother's old bedroom in me and my wife's house. She moved in with us in right at the end of 2019. No, the beginning of 2020. I'm sorry, maybe March of 2020. And this was her bedroom. It's like the size of a master bedroom, but she lived in here for the last 6 years or something, and up until June when she passed. And after she passed, we left it empty. I didn't know what we were going to do with it. You know, we left it empty for about 6 months. And then my wife she picked up a new hobby. She started crocheting and all this shit. And I talked to my wife. I said, maybe I'll move my stuff, my studio stuff, my YouTube stuff up to my mom's room and do my shows from there from now on. And then you can have the room I was in and you'll have a little crochet room and stuff. And that's what I did. Now, before I did that, I started fixing this room up. My mom, was a bit of a hoarder. So, I fixed it up. Steam cleaned the carpets. I painted the whole fucking bedroom. I fixed some things. And when I was in here doing that stuff, I felt a little bit better, so that's why I decided to just make this my room where I spend a lot of my time, because I do live streams. And sometimes being in here does make me feel better, but at the same time, the whole room is a reminder, like sometimes when you see me looking this way, I'm looking at a picture of my mom and my daughter. It's my favorite picture of them together, and over there, I have a picture of me and her together from my wedding day. And I don't know, it's tough, but it's what I've chosen to do. Dustin Nunez, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, Dustin. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, bro. Good to see you, and thank you for that. When my sister died, my mom became an alcoholic. Is that right? I'm sorry for your loss. And yeah, I can imagine, because that's what leads a lot of people, stuff like that. Tragedy. I know a woman I was in rehab with named Elaine. She was such a sweetheart. Yeah, Arlene, of course. Absolutely. She was such a sweetheart, Elaine. And she was like a mother figure to me in there. And she had a son who passed, and she became an alcoholic. And she told me, I always wondered why she took to me the way she did. And one day she showed me a picture of her son. And when I tell you, it was like a spitting fucking image, like we look a lot alike. But I would watch her cry and stuff and see the pain she went through. Losing a child, that there can't be anything worse than that in life, honestly. I feel your heartache, Mr. Street Smart's been going to my parents' house to empty it, getting it ready for sale. Absolutely blows. I cry every single time today. I took all the family pics down. Oh, I cry every single time today. I took all the family pics down. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's got to be tough. And I know what you mean. Especially with the family pictures. I got lucky, I got a wonderful wife who I made it clear to her after my mom passed. I said, Shanna, I cannot go in there yet. I can't go in there and go through her stuff. I can't. I need you to do it. And she did, she came in here. She got rid of all the trash and stuff that she knew there's no point in keeping, old mail, all types of stuff, but she organized everything. My mom's a little figurine. She has a lot of saints and angels and stuff like that. And her jewelry, all her jewelry, she put in one place. And she did that for me, but then me and my brother, my mom had a storage, because my mom, like I said, she had way too much stuff. And this house is not big enough. There's 4 of us in it for all this shit. So my mom had a storage unit with a lot of her stuff, and me and my brother had to go through that. And that was flat out excruciating. I mean, especially since my mom had like 40 fucking photo albums, everything you could imagine of me, from when I was born, my brother, my daughter, my mom herself, my dad, everything. I was like, holy shit, the memories it brought back and stuff. No matter what you do, real life and memories catch up. Yeah, that's true. Emotional support from family and loved ones helps. It does. 45 years married, 20 of those years, my husband's caregiver, 2 months in a coma at the end of life. The only thing I found to heal was therapy and solitude. The solitude forced me to face myself. Really, Bellamia? Well, I think that's what I'm going through now. You know, my wife's work schedule changed and stuff, and I'm at home all day alone. Like I said, because of the weather, I haven't been doing much. So maybe that's why I'm going through all this now. But 45 years married, 20 of those, your husband's caregiver. You are a saint, Elamia. I'm sorry to hear about your loss too. But yeah, solitude will do that. You know, believe me, jail. I've been there many times, and that's the one genius thing about jail is that it's the time. You know, you have nothing but time to think over all the fucking mistakes you made and everything, you know. Sometimes you get out of there never wanting to go back. Sometimes you make the same mistakes all over again. But I've been sober 14 years and my life has been so awesome. That's great to hear, Tim. Congratulations on 14 years, bro. That's great. That's why it's called faith. I know. I used to joke with the nurses about the good vein I always used to hit. Wasn't exactly a joke. None of them found it funny, Julianne. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they didn't. No, Juan, I've done, this is like my second or third one of these I've done. It's not permanent. It's just something I'm going to be doing all the time. But I mean, I'm still doing my politics. At least maybe. I don't know. The way it's going, I'm thinking about giving up on that. Open your heart up to Jesus. It's never too late. Take care, brother. Well, thank you. And you take care as well. But the Jesus thing is definitely out for me. Yeah, once, you know, let's see some childhood cancer being cured and stuff like that. Unnecessary deaths and school shootings, which elementary schools get slayed in their classrooms and stuff. Once all that stuff stops, I might give it another shot, the whole belief in God thing, you know, but not until then. There's another dimension. When I fell off a cliff, I experienced it. I'd like to pick your brain about that, JGB. 4 years sober and 23 years clean off Coke. That's fantastic, man. How the fuck did you drink and not do Coke? To me, it was like cereal and milk. It's just like today. If I went out and got a bag of Coke, there's no way you wouldn't know because I'd also be drunk as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do one without the other. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I'm agnostic. I'm not sure if there's a heaven and hell. Well, I guess none of us are, you know, but I don't believe in one anymore, unfortunately. I think my mom helped me have a child. What do you mean? Trying to find a vein in your pee-pee when you can't hit it anywhere else can give you Peyronie's. Don't ask how I know that. I don't even know what that is. I've heard of it before, but I don't even know what it is. Brother, I'm not into politics, but I lost my mother 3 years ago. She was a Christian, and I am also. I believe that she's in heaven. Sometimes we have to concede that we are not all knowing. No. Like I said, I don't claim to know there's no heaven or no God or anything. I just don't believe in them. And I do understand, and I'm glad you do have that faith and you believe she's there because I'm sure it gives you comfort. And I hope you're right, brother. And I'm sorry for your loss. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I just if I saw something, if I saw some sign or something, like something that's not explained, it can't be explained away by something else. Like if something happened in this room right now, if a picture was knocked over or something, I would know it's my mom and she's still here, and maybe I'll see her again. But considering how close we were, the fact that I haven't gotten any kind of sign or anything, she would let me know if she was around one way or another. And I haven't seen anything. And that's why I just don't believe, at all anymore that there's even a chance. But I hope I'm wrong. That's fucked up, Warner. Bitch. What was your addiction? Powder cocaine and alcohol. Yeah, lots of alcohol, lots of cocaine. And I fucked my life up. Believe me, I got congestive heart failure. I got diagnosed at 34 fucking years old. I'm going to be 47 in August. So that's a constant battle with that shit. But listen, when you got hard problems in your family and then you choose to add massive amounts of cocaine and liquor to the issue, you're fucked. Well, my mom died November 8th of 2016. I'm sorry for your loss, brother. So slowly, it gets better, but on her birthday and Mother's Day, I still cry. Oh, I bet, Dustin. My mom's birthday was March 5th, and you want to talk about a dark day. So I believe you. I don't think that'll ever go away for any of us, you know? Dustin Nunez, I went to jail for like 5 days. I hit rock bottom, and ever since that, I've straightened up. I don't recommend that anyone, but if it's going to help you become a better person, then a possibility. Oh, yeah, Dustin, sometimes that's what it takes, man. Jail can be the best thing to happen to an addict, no question about it. Me, personally, it was rehab. You know, I chose to go to rehab because I just couldn't take it anymore. And first of all, you know, being medically detoxed off the liquor, that's a necessity. Once I was medically detoxed, you know, I've never been an alcoholic that loved drinking. That might sound stupid, but drinking was always a means to an end. It was always a way to put myself to sleep at night or to come down off cocaine comfortably or just kill bad thoughts and memories and depression and anxiety, whatever. But I know people, the alcoholics I know, it's a lifestyle for them. They love drinking, just the act of drinking. They drink, sometimes before work. They definitely drink all day after work. They drink on holidays. They drink on weekends. They go out to bars to drink. They go out to restaurants to make sure there's a bar there so they could drink there. Drinking. That's their whole lives. I was never like that. You know, I was never, I was never like that. So once I got medically detoxed, and I did 3 times in my life, I would be fine after that. And cocaine, you know, it was the simple act of getting away from it. You know, I spent 21 days in rehab. That's it. And just being away from it for that time, I got out. I can honestly tell you, there's been times I've craved it, but for the most part, I don't even think about it. Because I know, I mean, one of the greatest gifts of sobriety, guys, is waking up, knowing where you are and what you did the night before. You know, when I wake up and I could say, me and Shannon watched the movie, I went to sleep, you know, here I am. What a great day, you know, already. But back then, I mean, I would wake up. I remember one time waking up and my wrists were killing me, fucking killing me. And I was like, oh, shit, I have a bad feeling I got arrested last night. I mean, and sure enough, I'm looking around my room and I find a citation. I was fighting with somebody in a nightclub. I got arrested and then they brought me home. And it's like, a walking blackout sometimes, for years. It's just like you don't remember anything. There's entire chunks of my life that are missing that I can't even tell you about. I was in a relationship for 3 years. I swear to God, I barely even remember the relationship. And I wasn't even really using that much then. A few times a week, a few times a month, I'd go, to the bar with my girlfriend. A few times a month, tops. Wasn't using Coke or anything, but it's just like all the damage you do to your brain after that, and especially your memory and everything. You forget entire chunks of your life, but a lot of it was blackouts too, where I just never had any memory of stuff. People tell me to this day things I've done, and I'm like, what? When the fuck did I do that? So waking up every morning feeling good, that's the best part of sobriety to me. Let me get down here. What about your door closing? Well, that is some shit, but you know me, I'm such a critical thinker. It's like, well, maybe the window was cracked. Maybe the wind blew it shut. You know what I mean? Like you mean when we were when we were in the bedroom, me and Shanna, and it slammed shut, if that's what you mean, yeah, that was fucked up. And that Shanna was just like, yeah, that's your mom. But you just can't convince me. Maybe I am getting signs and I just don't realize it. I overthink everything. So I can't just say, wow, that she's here with me. That's a sign. I have to think, well, wait a minute. There's several different ways that could have happened naturally. What was your mom like as in her personality and as a mom? Oh, Mimi, she was an angel. She was always smiling. She always made everybody else smile. She was like a mother to all my friends. And some of you guys that have been with me on MobTube, you've seen her with my friends. I mean, they love her. They adore her. Yeah, you see my mom hanging out in the hood with a bunch of black dudes, because she practically raised them, and they love her like she's their mother. You know what I mean? The people on YouTube that have been with me for years, they've seen it. I mean, she gets respect. And she would do anything for anybody. She was a Make-A-Wish volunteer for 20 years. She coordinated wishes. She sent one kid to meet Kobe Bryant. Another one, she coordinated a whole trip to Disney, everything else. And she watched these kids die, after, I mean, I don't mean watch, but I mean, she would do these things for these kids and then they would die, and she had already gotten close to them. And I would think, okay, she's probably going to give this up now because it's got to be just too much pain. You get close to these children and they die, but she kept going and going and going. And I didn't even know how many awards and shit she got when I was going through her stuff. She had so many certificates and stuff for all this shit she did for Make-A-Wish, and not a dime, it was all volunteer work. I don't know how she had the strength to do that because she lost a child. There was a little boy named Joey between me and my brother who passed away a couple of weeks after he was born. So for her to be able to do that was just amazing. And strong, Mimi, tough, Brooklyn, born and raised, Italian woman from Brooklyn, born and raised Italian. Born and raised in New York, around a lot of bad shit that went on and stuff, especially in those Italian neighborhoods and shit. And but you couldn't stop her. I mean, when she could barely walk because her heart was so weak, it would take her 15 minutes to get from this room to her car. She would still get in her car, drive herself to Walmart, and lean on a cart because she couldn't walk. She would lean on a cart to walk herself around the store because she couldn't breathe if she tried to just walk regularly. And we couldn't stop her. I would tell her, Ma, tell me what you want. I'll order you every fucking thing. I have it delivered. Walmart delivers groceries, everything. Just you don't have to go out. Nope. If I stop moving, I'll die. If I stop moving, I'll die. And tough as nails, man. If you really want to, Mimi, on this channel, there's 2 live streams I did with my mom. She's not on camera. I was smart enough with the trolls and stuff not to do that. But you could hear her over the phone. I have her on my phone talking, and she talks about me as a kid and talks about her life and her illness and everything, even mob stuff. You know what I mean? Because we have family that we're connected and things like that. She's a hell of a person. I never met anyone like her. That's for sure. And she put up with my bullshit, and she never fucking gave up on me or my knucklehead brother. He was a problem back in the day. Never gave up on us. She never did. She's a lot tougher than I am. I'll tell you that fucking much. She's around. Remember the story you told about the door closing? My mom did the same to me in my game room. I thought it was my wife entering the room, but she was upstairs sleeping. I hope you're right, Victor. That's what my wife keeps telling me. The door thing was definitely her. But while you were married, you did. No. Well, if you guys really want to hear the story, Mimi, you want to talk about a beautiful love story. I shouldn't tell people this, but most of the internet already knows. So in 2019, I was in a bad situation. I was living in a hotel, selling drugs out of the hotel, coke, crack, making tons of money. I worked at a Harley plant, so I was going to work every night, third shift. It's just that something happened with a home plan after I gotten out of jail. I wound up having to live in a hotel because I couldn't get an apartment quick enough. I had no credit at the time. I just had money. So I was staying in the hotel. One day I wake up, I'm next to this beautiful fucking girl, much, much younger than me, and like 20 years old. I was like 30 fucking 9. And I had been in a blackout for 4 days, and she told me how we had had sex and all this stuff we did. And I was so sick that day that I just called my mom and I said, Mom, I need your help. I need you to call crisis intervention. I got to get into a facility today. And I wound up in this beautiful place. It's kind of like a Promises Malibu type of place. Like they owned this place. It was beautiful. In-ground pool, walking trails, tennis courts, basketball courts, Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, deep tissue massages once a week. It was $55,000 a month, but I was in a union and I was able to go there. Well, while I was there was a very pretty nurse, beautiful nurse that I took interest in right away. And I would flirt with her and stuff. She kept it professional, but I had a goal in mind. I told this younger kid, Mark, that was in there with me, I said, I'm going to wind up in a relationship with that nurse. You watch. Well, after I left rehab, I got a hold of her because I remembered her name. So like a stalker, I found her on Facebook and I messaged her and I asked her if she'd want to go on a date and stuff. And she said yes. And 9 months later, we got married. So my wife has never seen me under the influence. Never. And I've never seen her under the influence. It's a sober marriage, so it's beautiful. So why do you want Trump? Not want Trump cleaning up the street. Listen, it's not politics, this show. Leave the politics out of it, but he's not cleaning up the streets. Okay, he's not doing anything to lower drug dealing or drug use, or he defunded the Narcan program that used to give free Narcan. It saves lives. And he pardoned a guy that trafficked 500 tons of cocaine into this country for no fucking reason. So please. 99.9%, I don't agree with your politics, but 1% I do. That's for a different day, but I like talking to you and I want to hear other people's opinions, even though I'm MAGA. I'm sorry to hear you're MAGA, Dustin, but thank you, man. I mean, these shows, I don't hold anybody's politics against them. I saw you one time right after I finished my show. You were in my chat, and then I saw you in, it was another, oh, you know who it was, Dustin? It wasn't politics. It was Jordan Aristide. You know what I'm talking about? The Puerto Rican kid that they always fuck with him. They call him gay and all that shit. Do you remember that? I saw you in there right after the show. I was tripping. I even sent a super chat. Tell me if you know who I'm talking about, because I know that was you. It was the same avatar and everything. That's how my mom was. Childhood friends still hit me on Facebook, reminding me of what she did. Oh, Soto, let me tell you, man. When my mom passed and I put it on Facebook, is another thing that just reminded me what a wonderful person she was. I mean, friends of mine that I forgot about, friends of mine that just used to come over every now and then to the house, and my mom would cook for them. And one of my friends, Rudy, he's a kid from East New York, Brooklyn. He actually lived with us for a while. My mom took care of him, but he said, nobody ever left your house without a smile and a full stomach. You know what I mean? And it was true. And there had to have been 200 comments from people, some I didn't even remember, just, recalling memories of my mom. And I'm like, I couldn't even read them all. To this day, I haven't read them all because it just breaks my fucking heart. And it's like, wow, it makes me realize how much of an effect she had on the people in her life, a positive effect, So that's a beautiful thing. I came out of a blackout with my face between a girl's legs. I quickly realized I had been going down on a prostitute. They shouldn't have made me quit drinking, or that should have made me quit drinking, but it didn't. Yeah, that's not good. Now, you don't want to be eating out a prostitute. But hey, I'm glad you survived it. Hopefully herpes free. I caught endocarditis and had to get my heart valve replaced. And I also have a pacemaker because my heart started failing after surgery. From what? What caused the endocarditis? Was it from drugs or alcohol? Is this Nick? Tell me that's you, Nick Romano. Bro, where have you been? I was worried about you last time I talked to you. I was hoping you were okay. And I hope you are now. It's good to see you, brother. MobTube would go crazy if they knew you were in here. Everybody's awaiting your return. I've been sober since the surgery. At least I was 26 when I had my heart valve replaced. Jesus. Well, I'm glad you're sober, man. She kept it professional. I'm sure you didn't. No, me, I wasn't disrespectful or anything, but I have made it, I think, pretty obvious that I was interested in her. And it's an interesting story too, because my wife literally saw me at my worst before she even knew me. You know what I mean? And she saw my little recovery journey while I was in there. And yeah, it's just an amazing thing, If I wouldn't have wound up at that exact rehab at that exact time, I never would have met her. She didn't even work there. She was she wasn't an employee of there. She was an agent. She was working for an agency, They were going to send me to a different place that day. And if they would have, I would have never met her, And believe me, the only reason I'm doing as well as I am now is because of her. So, 400 tons. I'm sorry. You're right, Julian. I drink to sleep so I don't have night tremors. I don't drink in the day. I just drink at night. I've cut down from a bottle of vodka at night and cider onto 2 bottles of 10-0 wine. But stuff, wow. Do you don't wake up with withdrawal ever? You don't wake up shaking or anything? It's okay. I'm not a fan of his politics as well. Me and Michael fucking despise each other's politics, but I love this guy. Great friend. You got to be careful because you will become physically addicted to it and you'll have to drink to not be dope sick. Oh, who are you talking to? Is that what she was saying? Maybe I missed something. Like I'm in a black hole. What? Oh, that's what you're. Okay, let me start over. I drink to sleep so I don't have night tremors. I don't drink in the day. I just drink at night. I've cut down from a bottle of vodka at night. Like I'm in a black hole. Yeah, that's not good, Marie, because eventually that is going to lead to you waking up with withdrawal, and you're gonna have to drink in the daytime too. It's exactly what I did. I mean, do what you got to do to get through life. Don't get me wrong, but have you talked to a doctor about something else to sleep? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I went to rehab, they put me on trazodone and gabapentin. It's the only fucking reason I sleep to this day. I was a lifelong insomniac, but I sleep well, And as far as this, are you saying this to Marie Parker, Key? Because I don't get the dope sick part. You keep on smoking them cigarettes, people are going to be crying for you. Trust me, it gave me emphysema. Joe Mac, do me a favor. Leave me the fuck alone, bro. I'm sorry you have emphysema. I know it's bad for me, brother. You just leave me alone. The smoking thing, I can't stand hearing that from you people. Give me a fucking break. Didn't it annoy you when people used to do that to you, Joe Mac? Joe Mac acts like again, it's an addiction. I would just not smoke a cigarette again if it was that simple. It's good to see you, man. How are you doing? How's your mom? Took a mental break, was struggling for a while. They got me on Zyprexa, feeling a lot better. Thanks, bro. Oh, that's fantastic, man. It's amazing what these medications can do. I'll tell you what. Never seen you do this type of live, giving me a whole different perspective of you. Glad you're sober. All of us, regardless of politics, have much more in common than media wants us to believe. Well, it's the thing, B. Graham, and that's why I like doing these, because the last one I did, I got a lot of people from the politics shows, and we were getting along, and we were, there was common ground, and, we could support each other and stuff. And shit like this shows you that politics isn't as important as we make it out to be. And that's me saying that, we do definitely have a lot in more in common than what separates us. I guarantee it. So yeah, believe me, man, if this is the thing, guys, I got to make a fucking living on here. And these shows, I would do these shows every day, but I don't ask for donations on these shows. If people donate, believe me, I'm in no position to turn it down. But I refuse to ask for donations on an addiction recovery show because I don't do these shows for money. I do the politics for money. I do the mob tube shit for money. If there was a way to just do this so I don't have to fight with everybody and I can get along with everyone, God almighty, if there was a way I could make a living doing it, I would, I swear. So yeah, B Graham, believe me, man, I don't like all that fighting with you guys and shit. Us putting each other down. We're all fucking Americans. We all, at the end of the day, basically want the same things for ourselves and our families. We just have, different ideas on how to get there. But I don't know. I'm glad it gave you a different perspective. I'm not a bad guy, believe me, bro. I'm sure you're not either. 60 years old this year and 24 years clean on July 4th, 2026. July 4th, huh? That was a good day to quit. I bet you were fucked up that day, right? Good for you, man. 24 years clean is amazing. Nick, couldn't believe you were at the York City No Kings Day rally. Oh, there was somebody. Yeah. Who was that? I don't even remember. You were saying somebody there looked like Nick Romano or something. I'm glad someone is annoying you. Your constant lying is annoying. I don't lie, bro. You'll never catch me in a lie. Just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean it's not true. Seeing a doctor, but they don't really help. That breaks my heart for you, really, Marie, because it's a nightmare. Insomnia and shit. It's a fucking nightmare. I hope things get better for you. I truly do. Oh, Soto, $25. Thanks for the show, bro. Thank you, Soto. You didn't have to do that. You already hit me up with a MobTube show, but I'm certainly in no position to turn it down. Thank you, my man. Exactly. Cigarettes are one of the hardest ones to stop. Yeah, believe me, guys, I hate it. I feel like shit all the time. I could barely fucking breathe. I know how bad I need to quit. It's just like, I don't know. It's the one fucking thing. I just seem to not be able to live without. And especially with my heart condition, I'm killing myself. I don't want to, believe me. My mom is good. Thanks, bro. Just took her to church today for Palm Sunday. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy you still got her. Michael Hensley says, I hope, Nick Romano, I hope all is well, brother. Nick, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to need from you. I'm going to need you to join a couple of my lives. Okay. We have to do an FBS Nick Romano show together. It's the way it's got to be. If you don't like it, too bad. All right. As the king of MobTube, I say this is what needs to happen. The guy with the I eat Trump for breakfast sign, LOL. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. I remember now. Sorry if I didn't respond. Can't see shit and don't have my glasses on, LOL. No, it's all good, man. Well, guys, listen, man, this is what I'll tell you. Yeah, you got to, bro. I need your help at this point. I need you to come on with me. We'll have a fucking ball, bro. We'll break some balls, you know? Let me show you. All right, guys, listen to me here, please. So I'm going to end this show because I got to, probably eat sometime today. I thank you all for being here. I truly do. And if you send in any kind of donation, that's awesome. Thank you. It's good to find common ground, even with people I don't get along with. Unfortunately, it's that we're addicts, but hey, all that matters is that we're better now. So, and everybody who's always here, I appreciate you guys always joining me on these shows. I love you. Now, just do me one favor. Go to nextdistro.org and get your free Narcan. Nextdistro.org. You watch a little video, you answer a couple of questions, enter your information, you'll get 4 free Narcans. You can carry them with you. You never know. I ran into a guy in his car who was overdosed on heroin, and Narcan saved his life. I didn't do it. The cops did it, but it saved his life. So you never know, man. You could have a family member, anything could happen. Somebody could buy what they think is a Xanax on the street. It has fentanyl in it, and they drop fucking dead, and you could save them with that shit. So do that, please. And write these numbers down, guys. I'm not going anywhere just yet, but I got to do this before I end the show. Write down, please, this. Oh, this is an old message with Happy Labor Day on it. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, there you go. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline and the National Addiction Hotline. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. That's an easy one. But the other number, write down just in case you ever need it. Very, very important to have, you know. Let me just read a few more comments. You sound like you have had troubles of your own, but you're doing well. Keep it up. Me, Murray? Oh, you have no idea. Thank you. Thank you. Call you soon, FBS. Sounds good. God bless everyone. Same to you, man. Thank you, bro. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for the break from the political insanity. Johns, believe me, as much as you want me to stop doing it, I do too. I'm this close to giving up on it, believe me. But thank you for being here. SoFlo wants you to eat him for breakfast. What the fuck? You too, Dixie Lee Ranch. Thanks for being here. Okay, new question. Would you rather have Charlie Kirk as president or Donald Trump? Charlie Kirk. All right, Soto, you're the man, bro. I have black lung. Imagine trying to breathe with black lung and smoking. I stopped smoking and my breathing got better. Wow, that's amazing. I'm sorry you got black lung, bro. Jesus. Trump said smart people don't like him. So does that mean MAGA? Another show. We're not talking politics on here. You used to eat asshole for crack? Wait a minute. You're fucking around, right? And now I have to stay on here for just a second. You're fucking around, right? Yeah, even though I wasn't a fan of Charlie Kirk, Pico's side, he's light years more intelligent than the current guy. So yeah, him. And more well-informed and just, all around better. Maybe I shouldn't even stick around for that comment. All right, guys, you have a good night. I'll see you soon. Peace.